It's on.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome each one of you to the Ashland Church Live. If you're watching us on live, our first selection will be 810. Name of it is Jesus Love. We're going to sing one in four. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to Him belong, they are weak, but He is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Jesus, take this heart of mine, make it pure and holy thine. Thou hast flesh and died for me, I will henceforth live for thee. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. I want to welcome everyone here this morning. I know that we've been released and we could assemble in larger numbers, but I think everyone is trying to take extra precaution and be a little careful and see what the turnout happens this week. Remember, if you will, the Nancy Childers Lightful family. Nancy, we grew up with her around Marlow with his children, and she was laid to rest this week. Also, be mindful of when you're out and about that this virus is still out there, and you can all run into pockets, so don't let your guard down. Still be careful, and be mindful of those around you. Just because others, sometimes they let their guard down and they think everyone else has. Sometimes you may have to sidestep them and get out of their way. But let us be careful and let us proceed with caution. I think that's what this good common sense tells us. We'll welcome you to come back on Wednesday nights. I'm trying to get a Bible lesson uploaded. This coming Wednesday night will be the establishment of the church. So we'll talk about that as we conclude the prayer of Christ and the model prayer and some things that we can learn from that. Do not know an exact date, maybe with our gospel meeting, Brother David Light would like to come and let's look at maybe June the 14th if we still are interested in doing a gospel meeting this year. Also, let's say congrats to Lori Knight, and I think her graduation is supposed to be June the 12th. And hopefully that we'll be able to assemble back together and have a special gathering and for her and celebration of her accomplishments as a senior is good. And so be mindful of that. Say thanks to all of our mothers, and so thankful for your years of love and devotion to your children, your families, and to the church. And so it's a great thing to be here this morning and have mothers in our presence. Last year we talked about Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman, and I'm going to do something a little bit different this year. It'll be Eunice, and that'll be 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. We'll begin in just a little while, so be mindful of that. You can use your Bible to turn to that. Brother Sam Ford will do our song leading this morning. Brother Jim Lakey will be doing our communion, and each other side who's going to take clothing. Dan and Ray is going to take closing prayer. I called my brother Jeff 2 weeks in a row, and he said, I came today just to do it, but I already told Dan and Ray if he would lead our closing prayer. So, thank thank you for being with us this morning. We'll be praying that everything will work out. Maybe next Lord's Day, the 17th week of December. Let's pray together. Holy, righteous Father in heaven, hallowed be thy great, holy, and divine name, dear Father. We thank you for your Son. Jesus, we thank you for dying on the cross for us and for our sins. You come to once and for all sacrifice. Yet while you were here, you lived a perfect example of submission, obedience, love. You lived a perfect example for which does follow. Set a perfect attitude of words and expressions, a way to present our lives, Father, for each other. We just pray, Father, that you would look for us in tender mercy now this time and forgive us for our sins and our shortcomings. Build us up in those things that are right and defeat us in those things that are wrong. And Father, give us the wisdom to know the difference. Father, we love and we praise your almighty name and the creator and giver and sustainer of life. And even in the midst of time of turmoil in our country is divided against itself and it's good versus evil, we see that there are people that are attacking one another constantly. And the evil is always attacking the good. We know that the devil is behind it. Therefore, we pray, Father, that you would deliver us from the evil one. Keep the tempter away from us. Give us the things that we need spiritually day by day, Father, that we might come to thee continually in prayer and allow ourselves to be dependent upon you. Yet, Father, all the while, giving us strength and taking strength from your word and comfort from you, that we might be able to go out and face the world with this evil, the devil himself. Well, we're so thankful for the church here at Ashland, for each and every member, for all the years from the apostles all the way back from the prophets of Father Abraham to Noah, and all those that have lived and given their life, Father, that your Son might come into this world, and that he might die, and that we might be able to follow his example. And through his blood, we have eternal life. We're so thankful, Father, for all the people that have lived and died and kept struggling for that right and for that freedom, Father, even since the Bible has been completed, been written for us, to remind us of your great love. Help us, therefore, Father, to take your word and take the examples of those around us that we love and admire, who have followed your word and trusted your word. And may we follow their example, Father. We love and praise your name this day. Bless those that are sick and suffering, lost of loved ones. Father, we pray that you bring comfort to them. Father, we would pray that those that are sick and shut in, they would receive the respect that they so richly deserve. Father, from the doctors and the nurses and the caregivers. Be with all of us, Father, as we look forward to appearing in your Son and our Savior. In Jesus we pray. Amen.
551, Rescue the Perishing. We'll sing 1-4. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, snatch them in pity from sin and the grave. Weep for the erring one, lift up the fallen, tell them of Jesus Almighty today. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. Rescue the perishing, you needy master, drink for thy labor, the Lord will provide. Back to the narrow way, patiently with him, help the wanderer, Savior and time. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. 217. 217. We'll sing the song, Cry Not the Lord Above. We'll sing 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Why did the Savior heavenly and come to earth below? because he loves me so. White field of garden, shed gold cross, white through his trials go. White suffered death upon the cross, because he loves me so. He loves me, he loves me, he loves me, yes I know. He gave himself to die for me, because he loves me so.
Come to remember our Christ, our Lord and Savior, who came to this earth and lived the perfect life, and left it on the cross so he could take our sins away, redeem us, purchase us back from life. You read from 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 23. For I have received of the Lord that which I also delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. When he had given thanks to break it, he said, "Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me." After the same manner also he took the cup, and was saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood. Be ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death until he comes." Thanks, Lord. Dear Father, we come humbly before you this day. Thank you so much for this opportunity together, although you and another, great in spirit, to worship you this day, to remember our Savior Christ, who sent to this earth, came and lived a perfect life for our example, and suffered humiliation and death on the cross, that he might redeem us from the life of sin and from the consequence of eternal separation from you as a result of it. He brought us back from that. He obediently gave his life, shed his blood on the cross, was resurrected so that we could see his life, his example, know that we could overcome death and live with you eternally. We thank you so much for Jesus as we stand here to remember his sacrifice. Remember him hanging on that cross, the suffering that he endured to buy us back. Just pray that you will help every soul here to remember that, to look back on his loving sacrifice, which not only saved us, but saved Adam and to the last man, covers all the sins of the entire world. Thank you so much for him, for this opportunity to remember. Most importantly, to remember the return again to see his own, to be with us, help us to take this worthy man, forgive us our sins and show coming, that we stand sure of your sight as we perform this act. Pray in Jesus' name. Now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given orders to the churches of Galatia, even so we do upon the first day of the week, let every one of us lay by his store, as God hath promised, that there be no gatherings. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful and thankful for these blessings we receive from you. Thank you so much for this beautiful day, for the life that you give us, for the opportunities that you afforded us in this week. Even now, in this time of crisis, you bless our lives in so many different ways. I know you continue to bless me, and I'm sure that you bless everyone. We just thank you for all that you do for us. And thank you for this opportunity to give back a portion of what you blessed us with, so that the work of this church can continue. That we continue to fund visionary programs that we do, study of our young creatures up and coming, so that we can continue the church opportunities. We just thank you for blessings in so many ways. Also, thank you, Father, for this opportunity to return a portion of it, so that further work of the church. Thank you for the process.
Our next number will be 842. 842. We'll sing 1 and 3. As the dew panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You alone are my strength, my shield. You alone make my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. I want you more than gold or silver, only you can satisfy. You alone are the real joy giver, and the apple of my eye. You alone are my strength, my shield. You alone make my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. 682. 682. At this song, we have Brother Donald. We bring the lesson today. We've had some mighty good lessons with him. He's been on me tonight lesson with him. We appreciate it. To God be the glory, great things he hath done. So loved he the world that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life and atonement for sin, and opened the life gate that all may go in. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. he hath done. Great things he hath taught us, great things he hath done, and great our rejoicing for Jesus the Son. But purer and higher and greater will be our reward, our thankful when Jesus we see. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he hath done. Our song we heard with me is number 767. Now, with the doctor.
Well, good morning. She heard something more to be a Christian, amen?
Amen.
She knows that God loves you, and I love you. And I'm always reminded, is like our little Amber, she always sees her Uncle Ron. That's the first thing she says, and I'm so thankful for that. This morning I want to talk a little bit about mothers. And I've already said that we had talked last year at this time about Proverbs 31. So we're going to talk about an example this morning, Eunice from the Bible, and her mother Lois, and that was Timothy's mother and grandmother. So turn your Bibles to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 5. Our nation needs godly mothers. That's very apparent as we look around us. But that's always been a need, and it continues to be a need. And it is times like this that we can, as preachers, stand up and press the urgency of that. And prayerfully, others will see it. Mothers will see it. Grandmothers will see it. Young ladies will see the need. And then step up to the plate and try to do their part, especially as Christians. The Bible says, as Paul writes to Timothy, he says, "For I am mindful of the sincere faith within you, which first dwelt in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice. And I am sure that is in you as well." Today we're going to look primarily in the letters 1 and 2 Timothy and talk about, I said 1 Timothy, but that's actually 2 Timothy 1 verse 5. Makes more sense now, doesn't it? So I'm sorry about that because I've got a couple references back to chapter 1 Timothy, and so forgive me for that. But where did it all really begin? This Mother's Day as we celebrate it. I think if you look in history, you'll find in about 1907, a lady by the name of Anna Jarvis of Philadelphia started a campaign to honor those mothers after they had died. And she had done that we call it her mother. And she wanted to honor her. And so she wanted to honor the living and also those that had deceased. So it took a little time, and Virginia in 1910 became the first state to recognize such. And I think it was 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson declared Mother's Day to be a national holiday the second Sunday in May. And that's where we are this day, 2020. Honor our mothers is a biblical principle and concept. Something that is far-reaching. Something that is the very undergirding, if you will, of society. Something that we need to really take a lot more serious than what we have. Where does good leadership come from, do you think? Oftentimes it is from a mother. We have Sarah, who was the mother of a nation, Eve, the mother of all of this nation and creation, because she's the mother, very first mother. Then you have Miriam, who helped to lead a nation, Jochebed, who was a mother of a great leader like Moses. So there's a lot to be said about the mother, and especially a godly mother. Abraham Lincoln said this: No man is poor who has a godly mother, to which I say amen. Thomas Edison said, my mother was the making of me. The memory of her will always be a blessing to me. Someone else has said, behind every great man, there's at least one good woman. And this, perhaps, is my favorite. Mother is the name for God on the lips and in the heart of children. I love that quote. Motherhood is the most important role women will ever fill. And it's not because men can't have babies, but because it is God's plan. Not all people are, nor can they ever be mothers. But they can be mother figures. They can have a lot of the characteristics of a mother. But maybe for whatever reason, they've never married, or maybe they've never been able to produce offspring. Not that they didn't want to, they desire to, it just never happened for them. But that a lot of times they find themselves adopting other people's children and becoming a mother figure to them. One of the sweetest, dearest ladies I remember, most of you here would remember Miss Imogene Ursker. Miss Imogene never had children, not that I know of. Never married that I know of. But she treated all of us children the same. She loved us all. As I was a child growing up. And so I'm reminded of people like that, who have followed the biblical example, done everything in their power to be faithful in the sight of God. But now, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1, Paul says, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of your vocation, wherewith ye are called. He's talking to all Christians. So whether a Christian can be a mother or not, still, whatever it is that she can do, let her be about her business to do it. The psalmist said in Psalm 127, verse 3, Lo, children are heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. How many times do we see parents, as we look around us, now, prior to this day, and we'll probably observe some more, but even in our immediate families and extended families, we see ladies who do not take the importance of being a mother. They don't understand it. They do not acknowledge it. It's almost as if they got children, now what do I do? Well, I think godly mothers is a great need. As goes the home, so goes the nation. That's a slogan we've heard. Now read it in books more than one time. So we can see some not so good things being true by simple observation. And the sad thing is, brethren, that it's not isolated incidents here today. That we see things that was never intended to be in the plan of God. We look at sin. We see the addictions that have filled our children's homes. We see negligence where babies have been starved to death. Babies discarded and thrown in trash bins. Not to mention abortion, which to me I've got here highlighted in red, stupidity. How stupid are we to take a child that's unborn and to murder that baby? One of the things that has just stood out, more and more things about this virus, is they've done a calculation of how many deaths have come from each one of these things, whether it was alcohol, cancer, accidents, or the flu, or whatever. You know what the number one cause of death this year is? With 10,600,000 and something deaths already this year, abortion. Something is wrong. Something is amiss, brethren, in our country. But godly mothers continue to love their children, protect their children, sacrifice for their children, and reflect on the lives of their children. One of the things I love now, I didn't always love it when I was younger, but I love how our mother will sit and she'll remind us of our lives and days gone by and things that we have done. And we can sit and laugh now, but at the time they were so embarrassing. I just couldn't believe it. If Mommy would say that, don't tell that, please don't tell that story. It seemed to be embarrassing. Well, now I love and cherish those moments and cherish those memories. One of the greatest memories I have was when Dad was on the road, on a travel lot, making money. He was working out of town, and they were driving over the road. And oftentimes he'd come in with a gallon of ice cream. And I was telling Jimmy a little earlier, Mama was a smart one, Freeman. She got her bowl out, and she got in her corner, and then there was 4 of us and Daddy, and we was in the bucket together. And I still remember that to this day. What great joy that brought my father. And what great joy it brings now my mother, I'm sure. Is it what else it does? What memories? Memories are created in the home. And most often by the mother. Lord, thank God for our godly mothers. Many mothers have left this world in this congregation that I learned from them. But I appreciate their example. The level of excellence that they set. And it was not that it was something that they were trying to do, trying to be great at. They were just being faithful to the Almighty God. To our Father, their Father. And I'm thankful for that. God's standard for an ideal wife, a perfect wife, if you will, a mother, is a little bit different today than it used to be. So we think, because so many times we see what used to be the standard of morality for mothers seems to be almost non-existent. Have you ever heard anybody who had a perfect wife? None are perfect, I know. But we expect perfect wives and mothers to do all the impossible things. You ever thought of it from that point of view? If a mom is going to be a mom, if a mother is going to be truly a mother, she's going to have to be creative, dedicated, and full of energy. Amen? I'm so thankful, ladies. If you understand what God is saying, you will never again say, I'm just a housewife. When you understand what God has called you to be and to do, you'll see that there's great importance in you. Although we look at Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 31, and we can say, that's the perfect woman, that's the godly woman from A to Z. And I've heard that expression, I've used that expression. This morning, I want us to look, if you will, at an example of Eunice. And we're going to look at Eunice, but I want us to first do a little historical background. We're going to look back into the manners and customs of the life in which Eunice lived and Lois lived. Now let's go all the way back even to Abraham. And I'm going to bring you through some of those customs. And I want you to see how that her life was so different in a lot of ways. She didn't have a lot of the things that we have, but she didn't have electricity, have air conditioning, and all these other things. You didn't have lights like we have, just so prevalent. They had lamps and that kind of stuff. They didn't have the washing machine. They didn't have the TVs. They didn't have all of these things. They didn't have the cars and the trucks. A lot of things they just did not have. But I remember even as a child, there's a lot of things that I enjoy today that was not in our home. You know, at one time, Brother Reagan, you know, when you was growing up, first time you probably saw electricity, they had a light switch, and maybe 2 receptacles in the house. That was a big deal. Now, if you ain't got 2 receptacles on the wall, you're behind the times. Per wall. In every room of the house. I go to Mom's house, and you go in the kitchen, and there's 4, 5, 6 light switches there. There's lights all over the countertop, and all around here, receptacles everywhere, everything that you need. What about Eunice? I want to say this before we move. When I've been talking about the mother and the wife, and the perfect mother and the perfect wife, men, if you'll find the queen of your childhood and make her the queen of your home, she'll be a queen for all of your life, all the way into eternity. Men and women have a unique ability to rise above and rise to the occasion when they're loved. That's what the home is designed for, is love. So let's look at early Christian lifestyle. Then we'll look at an example of Eunice, and then what godly mothers deserve will be our closing this morning. In the original family unit, you had, like with Father Abraham, you have aunts, uncles, cousins, and the servants living all in one place, serving and sharing together. So that was the big family unit. The leader, the father, the head of the unit was called a sheep. Abraham was able to raise 318 fighting men from his household, Genesis 14, verse 14. So that's a large number of your immediate family, and then your aunts and uncles and everybody living together. Now you've got one man that's leading this house. So he's in control. And when we look at in New Testament times, think about this. If you ever wonder how Jesus was not noticed for a day when Joseph and Mary was traveling, if you have a family unit traveling together, you have that many people traveling going back home. You know, he's amongst friends, but more specifically family. And, you know, they could be traveling and Jesus has been taken care of by the rest of the family. So they travel how long before they figure out, well, Jesus is not with us? So there's a large caravan. So it's not like they were not paying attention, but that's how the family unit began. The family was therefore a little kingdom, if you will, ruled by the Father, and everyone was expected to accept this authority, Exodus 20, verse 12. And if one refused to accept this authority, what would oftentimes, if they were to do something, refuse the authority of the father, the head of the family, and they were to do things that would threaten the security of the family unit, according to Deuteronomy, they would be stoned. They received the death penalty. So now you think about what's really going on in the big picture. In the big picture, you have a family unit consisting of a lot of people, but there's always respect for authority. Always. The main man always has authority. That man has to be very wise. Very wise. What about Moses when he was trying to lead? His father-in-law says, you can't possibly do it by yourself, so set up the peoples. This is not just your immediate family now. Moses, you're talking about a lot of people, a lot of different families. Set them up and have different leaders make decisions. You want to have the indecision. So the role of woman. In this family unit, the role of woman seems to be subservient to the male figure. She kept out of sight. She cooked the food. She served men in the family before she ate. She fetched water. She made clothes. She walked while the men rode. Seems a lot of one-sided, doesn't it? Lot's wife followed along behind him when they were leaving out of sight. And she made the mistake of turning around and looking back. And how hard must it have been for Lot to not turn and look when his wife was no longer speaking? She turned to a pillar of salt. I wonder if the daughters were following and said, Daddy, Mama just turned into a pillar of salt. What would have been a knee-jerk reaction? To turn and look back. So I look at Lot, and he moves forward. He's trying to be the leader that he ought to be. Oftentimes, moms and dads, they have to have a respect for one another. And they have to lead in their proper roles. You don't allow your children to play mama against daddy and back and forth. A woman has her respected role. Not that makes her less. Our brother Paul, the Apostle Paul, tells us that the head of a woman is man, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But then, by extension, that even comes down to us. But Paul, in talking to Timothy, he basically gives a theological idea behind the whole thing. He says, look, because God created man first, he ought to be the leader. And because Eve was the one that fell victim and she fell to the temptation of sin, man is still the leader. So a woman is supposed to have her respective role. The woman was first tempted into breaking God's law, 1 Timothy 2, verses 13 and 14. So the traditional role of women does not mean that a woman is unloved. Does not mean that it's disrespectful or to be disrespected, according to Proverbs chapter 31, especially. Something that most ladies, mothers, young ladies need to remember. You're the only one who can have children, and that is so important to every aspect of the family unit that we need to see the urgency to be faithful. If you go back to the day and the time that Eunice lived, and predating that all the way back to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10, guys, if she was unfaithful to the family unit, she could be stoned. How many women would be alive today if that was still the case? Lots of mothers that have aborted babies would have already given their lives. That would have been a death sentence too. See how we flip-flopped in our nation and our thinking? How our country has reversed itself? Calling evil good and good evil. Men, are you listening? The New Testament times wives were to submit to their husbands, but love that the husbands were to have for their wives, according to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, were to love our wives as Christ loved the church. Paul goes on to say that no man that loves himself would cause harm to himself. If you love yourself, why would you not love your wife? If you look at Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21, literally it's a form of submission for men to love their wives the way they should. Because it's submitting to the power and the authority of Jesus Christ. Paul told Timothy, 1 Timothy 2, verse 15, a woman shall be preserved through the bearing of children if they continue in faith and love and sanctity with self-restraint. What a drastically different picture we have today. Our mindset concerning mothers, the example they're to live to set. Our treatment of those ladies. Men, we should never treat a woman like just a piece of meat. You don't like it, cast it out. How are we to treat our wives? With great love and respect and honor, as if Christ loved us as he loved us at the church. Most times in Bible times, people got up early. They made the best use of time during the day. They could sleep late if they wanted to. Oftentimes it was not possible. For your smaller family units, as they will have smaller living places, that kind of stuff, they're not out in tents, they're not wandering across the deserts and grasslands and these types of places now. That's kind of moved. Let's move a little bit later into the time of Eunice, when they would be living in houses. Oftentimes what would happen is you would have the entire family unit sleeping on one platform together. All in one room. I remember as a child growing up, oftentimes at our grandparents' house, we all slept in one great big room. Line up in bed. Didn't like the fact that my grandfather snored so loud. So, if you went to sleep, Jimmy, you tried real hard to go to sleep real fast. I love my grandfather, but he could snore. But what was the problem? We talked about 3 weeks ago in Luke chapter 11, verse 7, we talked about Jesus, the persistent woman, or persistent person coming to the door, knocking, wanting bread. He said, I can't get up. I was disturbed the whole house. So you get the picture. So the family unit was together. They were living together, sleeping together, eating together, working together. The men would get up and breakfast would be simple, piece of bread maybe, a cake of bread, cheese or olives or some kind of dried fruit cast in it. And then the working size sons and the dads would go and they would go to work. The smaller children and the girls would stay at home. The older girls would go to the market and they would go and fetch water. The As soon as they got back from that, then they would start milling the wheat, the grain, and they would be processing that, getting it ready to bake, build a fire, fan a fire, get that going. Then there would come time to have a little siesta. When it got hot here today, that kind of stuff, they take a little break. But they worked from daylight to dark. So the men would come in, the ladies would get, the mother and the children would get up and they would prepare. As the older ones would be coming back to the house and make sure they had a meal. So when they got home, they could eat. Everybody comes in and they eat a meal and they get everything put away and where it needs to be and dipped it up. Then by this time I'm sure it's kind of relaxed. Some of them. But then it was lights out. And they got up and they started all over again the next day. They did this 6 days a week. They remembered the Sabbath and kept it holy. So let us look now at Eunice, an example. Eunice was a Jewish lady. Her son Timothy was by a Greek father who was probably dead, maybe now by the time that Paul reached them. But in Acts chapter 16, verse 1, Paul comes to Derbe, to Lystra, and he runs into a disciple there named Timothy, the son of a Jewish woman who was a believer. He was well spoken of by the brothers at Lystra and Iconium. So Timothy, as a young man, had a really good reputation. His name actually means honor to God. And that's going to be in Acts chapter 16, verse 1. Now come to 2 Timothy chapter 2, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. We're looking again, as we start, at the godliness of Eunice. Pay close attention to the text there. It says, I am reminded of your sincere faith, a faith that dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and now I am sure dwells in you as well. Eunice shows the impact that a mother has on rearing a child. It's important that she teaches her children the ways of God. She has such the Word of God has so impacted her life that it has become a way of life, and that everything that she does basically spills over into the life of Timothy. She's very dedicated. She's sincere. When it says sincere, it means that it was an intended. She made it a point to be faithful to God. She made it a point to be an example to her son. And it began with Lois. So we can say a lot of the same things about the grandmother. Someone in the home must take the initiative to teach the children, or else the world will. Hopefully that someone will teach them of Jesus and not the worldly desire of self. I believe it to be the case, upon observation. The majority of the reasons we're going to see for abortion is self. These young ladies are more interested in self and selfish desires and what they want and what they can get out of life, and they don't have time for the inconvenience of a child. Eunice takes on the responsibility of Timothy wholeheartedly. She takes her devotion to God very seriously. She makes sure that is given to Timothy. Second, Eunice sought to train Timothy well. And if you look at 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 12 and follow, by the time you get to verse 14, it says, I have learned and have firmly believed, knowing from whom you learned it, and how from childhood you have been acquainted with the sacred writings. So Eunice was making sure that Timothy was not just educated, but very well informed. He had a great understanding of the sacred scriptures. He just didn't have a passive, well, maybe I don't know where they say it, I heard it one time before. But when something can be said, he'd say, okay, you can find that in Deuteronomy. You can find that in Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Genesis. He had such an informed understanding. He said, I know where that's at. I know what prophet wrote that. That's being informed. It's been a long time since the expression, if you're out in the public and you can't find the Bible, ask a Church of Christ member, they can quote it. How long has it been since that's been said? I'm not saying that memorizing the Bible from end to end is going to be the thing that gets us into heaven, there was a time that we were well informed. Some things will rub off on a person, other things have to be taught. Timothy's faith was a direct reflection upon his mother. Fourth, Eunice used significant spiritual success. It's a great thing when you see your son become a minister of the gospel. That means that I have done everything that I should, that I could, to instill in the mind of my child that they know God, that they know Jesus and they know who He is. See, when she was a Jew, here she is, she's being taught all the things of Judaism, and then when she meets Paul, and the Apostle Paul comes to Eunice, and he looks at her and says, look, all right. I recognize that the gospel, that Jesus Christ is the gospel. He's the good news. He's what we've been waiting for. How do you think she recognized that? She didn't just hear this good news Johnny come lately. She had some kind of understanding, and she was ready to accept the real Messiah, and she did. And she gave that to her son. So there's a lot to be said. When someone recognizes the truth and sees the truth, they instill that to the one that they love, their children. And others when convenient, when they can, when they have the opportunity. People used to walk 3 to 5 miles to the building, and the building would be full. Now, if family shows up, they come in 3 or 4 cars. Parking lot will be full of vehicles, won't be 2 dozen people in the building. It's sad, isn't it? The family unit completely divided. Long years of trial and training has its rewards. A veteran servant of the cross never looks at sharing Christ and crucified as a burden. They just want others to see the King someday. Eunice was willing to give her son to God. When Paul comes and he says, look, says, I can use Timothy, my beloved child in the faith. I know he is a Christian, and he knows I have laid my hands upon him. And now he knows. He's been blessed, he's been given this power, this ability. And I see that this man is worthy. He's worthy to be a servant of Jesus Christ. He's worthy to be a preacher of the gospel. And Eunice was willing to let him go. And she did. He went. And so when Timothy was there, and he was having to share the gospel with others, and he was doing everything he could to appoint elders and deacons, and trying to make sure that women kept their places, I think Paul would be proud. But Eunice is trying to hold him back. Hannah and Samuel, another lady that was willing to give her child. I want you to just think, as we close, 5 really good building blocks that obviously Eunice had taught Timothy. One is obedience in 2 Timothy 1:18 and 19. It's Paul had reminded him to fight a good warfare, to hold on to the truth, hold on to the faith in good conscience. And that's what real obedience is. Real obedience is holding on to that which you've been taught, holding on to the truth and not deviating from it. That's obeying God rather than man. Second, what about the dedication? 1 Timothy 4, verses 12 through 16. There's 4 imperatives there. Devote yourself, practice these things, immerse yourself, persist in these things. Whatever you do, Timothy is going to take determination. It's going to take determination to be persistent in sharing the gospel with those, even when they may not want to accept you. Third, what about holy living? He says, Paul reminds him, he says, be sure that you're a holy person. He says, oh man of God, flee these things. Pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, and love, and steadfastness, gentleness. Live free from reproach. How do you do that? By having a holy life, holy lifestyle. What about love? You think Eunice may have taught her son love, appreciation, and how to feel deeply about something? He says, I want you to know this. I want you to be sure, to be sincere about your faith. And to make faith, your faith, not Lois's, not Eunice's, but make your service to God your faith. If you have a great love and appreciation for what God has done, and you understand the story, you understand that as a sinner you have no hope of eternal life, and if you understand that you've been forgiven us such a great debt, and you want to repay that in whatever way you can, and that's obedience, faithful obedience. Holy living, dedication. We can only do that when we have a deep sense of love. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to anyway now. It's hard for a man to be drawn away from his wife, and it's hard for a wife to be drawn away from her man when they have a deep love and feeling for one another. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about her wants and desires are his wants and desires. His wants and desires are her wants and desires. When everything that you do, you're trying to meet her needs and meet her desires, and when everything she's doing is to meet his needs and his desires, you become one. Now, let me qualify that though. Let's be fair about it. It's unfair for a woman to tell her husband that she wants this and he wants something else. And it's unfair for a man to want something and tell his wife he wants something else. When we're open and honest and we're trying to be godly people in the sight of God, and we're trying to do what is right in the sight of God, then we can be honest, open, and fair, and we will not be enticed by the world. We'll not be drawn away to others. But we want the same things. That's heaven. Holy. Heaven. And what about loyalty? The fifth thing is loyalty. Everything, when Paul is writing to Timothy, he says, Demas has left me, these are gone, that one's gone. He says, but I love your dedication, your loyalty. I know you'll stand, no matter what comes. You think Timothy got that on his own? I bet he got it from his mom. Because his dad's not his son. Let us take our higher form that contains the Spirit created in the image of the Almighty God and dedicate it to the Lord. Let us be loyal, let us remain loyal to Him. Because, after all, God has been loyal to us. And if we're going to petition Him through the avenue of prayer and ask for things, it would not be loyalty to Him if we did it in sin. 5 or 6 things as we very completely close out. With what Eunice is demonstrated and given her son, share with me these words, write these down. What does Eunice deserve? What does godly mother deserve? Number 1, obedience. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. One of the first member verses I remember. Respect. Honor your father and your mother. Affection. Love, whether it be of gifts, say I love you, cards, calls, hugs, whatever. Because most mothers, godly mothers, are full of affection. Wisdom. The proverbial writer says it this way in chapter 10, verse 1. A foolish son is the grief of his mother. Why be so foolish? Let her wisdom spill over into your life, and let us become wise as we try to bring glory and honor to our parents. What about righteousness? Does she not deserve righteousness? Does she not bring joy and gladness to us? And as children, we ought to respond to her the very same way. We're thankful for the joy and gladness she brought. You can only do that through righteous living. You know, nothing makes a godly mother more prouder than to have a godly or good, or if you will, righteous son or daughter. True righteousness comes from truly following Christ. Romans chapter 3. And what about care? Last but not least, it wouldn't be right for us as parents to take our mother to the nursing home and cash her in and never see her. When we've exhausted ourselves in trying to care for someone that we love, and when there seems to be no other way, and we need further assistance, I don't see a problem with nursing homes carrying as assisted living. But I think we ought to do all we can first before that becomes the end result. After all, God would want us to always be in an environment where we are filled and surrounded with love. And that's the very least we can do. I know this from experience as a child growing up. Mom was home a good bit more, and we were around her a good bit more. But Daddy could be sitting in the room, and if one of us was sick, Mama, we didn't call Daddy. We didn't go to Daddy. We went to Mom, our caregiver. It's just natural. It seems to be just a natural way of doing it. We look at the one who cares for us. Who we see, who we need care. I'll say this. When mothers love and care, they do it because they love and care. Not for the glory, not for the praise, not for the pat on the back, but if you'll just hug them, they would appreciate it. I can tell you that. I remember. My mind actually remember seeing you in a spring back chair. And bed, propped up against the wall in the bed, sitting in that just so she could breathe and maybe get a little sleep. The time of the day before kids. Never once did I ever hear you complain. Leah'll tell you that made me sick, and I'll be the first to complain. Every time. This morning, let us all be more appreciative of our moms, our wives, and the ladies that we may be choosing for our wife. Young men, as you look out and you're looking for a mate for life, choose a godly woman. Don't go looking for her everywhere but the church building. Go to the assembly and try to find a godly woman. Simply. This morning, in way of an invitation, I would ask you to think and consider seriously about how you've treated your mother. If you need the church pray for you, you need to ask your mom to forgive you if you can. Please do while you still have time. Now let's sing this.
Who let the Lord is standing, patiently towing here, entrance within he handing, whose is the voice I hear. Sweetly the tones are falling, open the door for me. If thou would heed my calling, I will abide with thee. Door of my heart I hasten, thee will I open wide. No rebuke can chasten, he shall with me abide. Sweetly the
attention. Ladies, I don't believe I beat any of you up. Men, I've got this pretty good. So let us be thankful that we have godly women in our lives. And let us be thankful today. We appreciate you. And thank the Lord that He set the level of playing forward. I'm so thankful for all of it.
Thank you for the announcement, Brother. Thank you for being here. What up? 824, we are finding our last one. 824. And one time. That morning
When this life is o'er,
fly away to a home
on God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Let's pray. Dear Father, this morning we come to you at the close of the service, thanking you for this day that we have to come here to worship one with another. We ask that you would be with us as we are traveling back home. The ones that are here this morning, that you'll keep them safe. We ask you to be the ones that are at home or watching with us and worshiping with us this morning. We ask you to keep everyone safe. We ask you would go us through all our trials and times as we are fighting this virus. We ask you would bring us all back to church once again, that we can all be here together. We ask you would forgive us where we have failed thee and keep us safe and go with us to a future walk so we can be better Christians in the future than we have in the past. In your son's precious name I do pray. Amen.
Amen.